Hello, everyone. This is Music Mukbang. I'm Zoe, and today we're talking to Chelsea. Hello, how are you?
Hi Zoe, thank you so much for having me today. I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. So we found you. We came across your page and your music when you did a show at Waluigi's Mansion in deep Urbana. I just want to know what brought you there.
Actually, Kangaroo Court brought us
Rep,
there.
represent. So
Yeah,
shout out.
like I didn't even plan that. This is my favorite shirts, and so I just happened to be wearing it. But they invited us to play at Waluigi's Mansion, and that was such a fun show. Urbana is awesome. The music scene there is great, and everyone at the show was so fun too.
Yeah. And so this was kind of just like, I know you guys had been touring, so this was kind of just a one-off show for you guys then, just something special.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And was this the first time you had kind of done like a house show like that? Or had you done stuff before?
So we've played a couple house shows before, but that I think that one tops that. That was my favorite house show. That was so fun, and we actually just bought a van, and so that was our first time that we ever took the van anywhere, and we were not sure if it was going to make it the whole drive, and it did. So that was a plus.
You went on tour with the Criticals, I believe, right?
Yeah, we did in July.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite show either from that or just kind of shows in general that you've played that sticks out to you as your favorite one or super memorable one?
Yeah, I would say Austin with the Criticals was one of my favorite shows ever. That was crazy. The crowd was awesome. My whole family flew out from California, so that also was awesome. And yeah, just all of like my favorite people were in one place, and then there were the crowd itself was just amazing, and obviously the Criticals are amazing. So that was a great show.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. And just having that whole support there just to make it even better. So, you're originally from California, and now you all live together in Nashville.
Yeah, we do. So we actually, yeah, we're all roommates. Yeah, it's been really nice. We moved in together a year ago, and it's been just like the easiest living situation of I've ever been in, and we have with our friend Kyle as well,
Mhm.
um, and it's just a great time.
Yeah, and I would imagine that's probably also great creatively because you don't have to coordinate, songwriting sessions or like recording instruments and stuff. So, what brought you to Nashville?
Yeah, so I actually came to Nashville for I had kind of always planned on moving to Nashville, which I didn't even realize, but like I made like a little 5-year plan when I was like 14, and I was like I'm gonna live in Nashville in that like 5-year plan, and then it just like kind of ended up happening because I went to Belmont and I started songwriting there, and that's kind of how we all met as a band too.
Gotcha, gotcha. And they were just like, all right, cool. And they just followed along with you.
Yeah, so I actually met Sawyer at a party, I think freshman year, and Sean and Sawyer met at a party freshman year, but Sean and I didn't meet until we both graduated. And well, he was about to graduate, and I had just graduated. And like literally the week that I graduated was when I met Sean, and we moved in. Like I met him when we moved in together.
Oh, wow. The best possible situation.
Yes, it worked out really, really, really well. Better than I ever could have imagined.
So, was the idea of forming a band kind of there from the get-go, or was that like a conversation that you guys just had one day?
Yeah, so we me and Sawyer had been playing for 4 years ish, and Sean and Sawyer had been playing in another band, and then the lead singer of their other band and I kind of like became friends, and we merged both the bands, and he's not in the band anymore, but that he kind of like brought us all together.
Gotcha. That's awesome how it just kind of happens so naturally like that.
Yeah.
I did want to say congratulations for No Hard Feelings hitting over 1 million views on YouTube. That
Thank you.
is crazy. Can
Thank you.
you tell me a little bit about that music video?
Yeah, that was actually so wild too. Like, cause none of us really expected that to happen. We just like put the music video out and then just like, that was really crazy. Cause I don't even know how the YouTube algorithm worked, but hey, I'm not complaining about that. But it was a really, really fun music video to make. My friend Josh Bush, he directed and produced the whole video. And he's like, I mean, like, and I think he's a genius. Like he's a really, really talented videographer, and the artists that he surrounds himself with are also really talented. So there were a bunch of other people that kind of like came in and like helped him and helped get the whole thing going. But yeah, the idea was kind of just about a relationship that just wasn't super healthy, but like very passionate. And that's kind of what he tried to get across in the music video. And I think that the story was personal to Josh and it was personal to me. And I think it's kind of universally personal, I would
For
say. I think a
sure.
lot of people had those experiences. But it was really fun to make. And I got to, my boyfriend actually was the guy in the music video. So that was fun.
There you go. Oh, nice bonding experience there.
Totally. I'm not sure how I feel about his parents watching us like make out in a music video, but uh,
Yeah, yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah. And I think too also, when it hits a certain point where like everyone's seen it, do you feel like that makes it better or like with the parents? Or do you feel like it's still kind of like awkward?
You know, I feel like it makes it better because, but also, you know, it's when you're making art, you kind of have to come to the conclusion that like nothing can be awkward and you can't have shame about anything. You have to shamelessly just do everything that
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And I feel like also too, that idea that it's very much your acting, so even though it is your boyfriend and it is like something that is very personal to you, it's still a separate thing, and it's very artistic in that way. A lot of your content I've seen, even just like your TikToks and Instagram reels, kind of have a very cinematic, very high quality element to it. So I wanted to know if there was a part in that music video or in any of the other music videos that was a bit challenging for you, or you kind of had a good learning experience when doing them.
Yeah, yeah, I think thank you, by the way, for the kind words. That's very nice. I think shooting that music video was a little difficult for me in general, just because the lyrical content and the story was so raw at that time that it was a little bit hard just because I don't know, I feel things really deeply and it was just hard to like put myself like relive a lot of those moments but having to like act them with someone else and
Yeah.
so that was well and we actually shot some footage like in like a specific place that like I hung out with like this person before and that was I didn't think it would be very hard but that was really hard to shoot those scenes on the swing set.
Yeah, I could imagine that would be. What is the connection to Lovesick Clothing Company?
Yeah, that's my friend Lisa. That's her clothing company that she started, and she is one of Josh, the director's best friends, and so she designed all of the clothes that we're wearing in the music video and like made them. So there's this like really cool like bomber jacket with chains that I wear. She made like she sewed that. It's crazy, and like the shirt underneath, she sewed that and the skirt.
Mhm.
Um, and I know that all of her pieces had like an underlying meaning. And so I'm pretty sure that the one that I was wearing, the blue one that I was wearing, was kind of like a stylistic portrayal of depression.
Okay.
just like with all of like the cables kind of like coming off and like being all like tangled up. And then there's another outfit that I was wearing in that music video that was purple, and she also made that. And I think that that one was supposed to symbolize anxiety, which is really cool.
Wow, that's awesome. Just the art, I mean, fashion and art is amazing. And the fact that you guys were able to integrate that into the music video is so cool. Do you, in the future, do you see yourself as a band or as an individual working with other brands, either for like music videos, like costume design, or just like merch?
Totally, totally. It's been really cool. I think that one of my favorite parts of art and creating art is that you can collaborate with other artists. And
Yeah.
I love just seeing everyone come together and like make something together. So it's like so cool not only to be able to like write songs with my band and with other people and produce them with my band and other people, and but also then to like work with Josh on the music video and to work with Lisa on, well, I mean, she made all of the clothes. So like it's really cool to be able to collaborate with different artists and kind of like all like grow and kind of like come up together, because then when we kind of like hit these like goals that we've all been hoping for, we get to celebrate those together. And I love just being able to celebrate things as a group. It's so much more rewarding and fulfilling. And it's like the book Into the Wild.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He says happiness is only real when shared, and that's just so accurate, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And just fostering a whole community and just celebrating everyone's individual talents. Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Do you find that with fashion and music, since you have kind of been performing more and going on tour more, that your fashion sense has changed, or you've branched out to explore different things like that?
That's such a good question. I would say my style has changed a lot. Just kind of as I've been kind of on this journey to finding myself. And I think we're all kind of on a journey to finding ourselves. But I would say that these past couple years, I've really kind of been trying to figure out who I am and like what my sound is and what my style is. And I realized that we all kind of chase what I think the key to figuring out who you are is chasing what your favorite emotion is. And my favorite emotion is just like feeling badass. And I think when I feel badass, I know I'm doing something right. So like when I choose like my clothes and stuff and they make me feel like, yeah, I'm so badass. Like that feeling is amazing. And so I think that that's how I've kind of developed my style, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally does.
And it's kind of helped me write songs that make me feel badass and like that I love singing. And yeah, I think that emotion has really helped me figure out who I am, which is kind of funny. But it does make me want to like get a motorcycle, which it wouldn't be not good. I'm not a good driver, so I don't think I could. I don't think I could have a motorcycle.
Me neither. Chasing that feeling as opposed to a certain style or a certain aesthetic or whatever. So I definitely feel that. You, speaking of jobs, you work at a radio station, is that correct?
Yeah, I do actually. I work for 96.7 FM Nashville, and we do like a similar thing to what we're doing now, where we just interview people, and then they'll play like a live acoustic set occasionally, and it's really cool. I'm sure you probably get a similar experience, but it's like I feel like I learned so much about music and how to be a better musician just by talking to other musicians. So it's been really instrumental in like helping me get better at like guitar and songwriting and stuff. And uh,
Yeah.
that's why I
Ab-
have such an admiration for what you're doing, because you're really good at what you're doing. Like I feel like I do a lot of interviews every day, and so it's really nice to see someone that's really good at what they do.
Thank you. And yeah, being on both sides of it, you having interviewed artists and then also doing interviews for your music, I can definitely see you've gotten very refined at knowing what works and what doesn't. Is there anything in particular that you felt like really helped yourself as a musician working at a radio station, whether that be like strategically with marketing your music or creatively?
Yeah, I think just talking to the other musicians that I interview and stuff has really helped my music a lot, and it's helped me like see just what other up and coming artists are doing in the community and to get their music out there, and it's really given me this nice community of other artists that now we all just kind of support each other, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, much like the DIY scene of U of I, it's a little bit more, it's the Nashville radio circuit, I guess. But that's
Yeah.
that's awesome that you're able to grow and develop those connections as well. And I think too, being able to relate to them musician to musician, I'm sure they probably open up, a lot to you when can get really nitty gritty with like the technical stuff as well. So
Yeah, it's like it's so cool. Like my favorite thing to ask people is like what their songwriting process is like, because it's so different for everyone, and it's cool to like hear like how people sit down and write a song and like what that's like for them, because it's so personal.
Yeah, it's so personal. And it's always interesting to me when there'll be people that'll describe their songwriting processes and they'll be like side by side, they'll be relatively similar, but the output will be so different.
Yeah.
One will be a hyper pop artist and the other one will be an indie artist. So cool. Speaking of songwriting, I when I was doing my research and digging, I read that Vancouver was the first song that you guys wrote as a band. Can you tell me a little bit about that? That for me, that is my personal favorite OG Chelsea song. So
Thank you. Yeah, that song was actually, I would say, one of the hardest songs I've ever written lyrically,
yeah.
because it was so personal, and I was going through just a huge shift in my family dynamic, and kind of just on this journey of self-discovery and learning why I do things and where these tendencies, my like negative tendencies, come from. Obviously my parents, and so I was in this mindset of, I was pretty angry at some stuff that had gone down in my family recently, and so I was like, I just need to write about this, because writing is it's such an escape, um, just from the world, I think, and I think a lot of times in the past when I've written and when I write now, it's a way for me to like rewrite things so that I can experience them the way that I want to, which I'm talking about with my therapist. It's not very healthy, because I kind of idealize things in my head a lot as just like a coping mechanism for getting through my life traumas. But with this song, I kind of just said it like it was, and lyrically, we don't really play it at shows really, because it's really hard for me to sing because it makes me really sad.
Yeah.
But we actually wrote it in Texas. This was before the band had even got together. So we went down to Texas. Our drummer Sawyer's from Texas, and his friend, who was the lead singer of the other band that he was in, came with us, and it was the three of us and our friend Grant. And the Sawyer's friend started playing that riff on guitar, like the da-na-na part, and I was like, keep that. We need that. That's it. That's the song. And then I went outside and like really just like let myself get in my head while they were still like jamming inside, and I just wrote all the lyrics and came back, and I was so nervous to show it to them because like I didn't really know the two guys very well besides Sawyer, and then they liked it, and it ended up being our first song that we wrote.
That is amazing. And especially for you to kind of take that like step and just be so courageous to not only write it down, but then also show it to other people and then work through it to record it and add, backing vocals and instruments and all that stuff, just having to process it multiple times. Do you ever get nervous releasing songs that are so deeply personal like that? Or do you feel like there's a greater purpose to it?
I used to get really nervous. I don't know when I came to this point of like not feeling shame. It's a little terrifying, but it's kind of fun. I don't know. I feel like I used to get really nervous when I knew people would know that my song was about them.
Mm-hmm.
But now I kind of enjoy it because it's such a way for me to process how I feel. And in the past, I had such a hard time like communicating verbally what my emotions were and how I felt about people or how I felt about situations or when I was upset. I even had like a hard time telling people when I loved them. And so
Mm-hmm.
I would just do that through my songwriting. And now I'm in a place where I can communicate verbally a lot better. Therapy
Yeah.
is great, great.
Oh, heck yeah. Yes. Therapy. I feel like that comes up so often on the podcast on our show. Therapy is just, everyone needs it.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Yeah,
For
but
sure.
yeah, and so I think just writing those songs was kind of that outlet for me to communicate my emotions for a while, and it's now I just don't really feel any. I also think my mom is Spanish, and Hispanic mothers are just a whole different breed. Like she embarrassed me so much growing up. She has no filter, no boundaries, nothing. So we'd be out in public and she would say the most embarrassing things ever. So growing up, I was embarrassed so much that now there's nothing embarrasses me.
Also, too, I guess kind of like embracing that badass energy. And you're like, yeah, that song's about you. What are you going to do about it? Like,
Yeah,
you're going to listen to it? Cool. Like, please do. So,
seriously. Because I think it's so funny when like people are like, "Oh, she wrote a song about me. She's so crazy," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm crazy. You did it."
we have exciting news. And like the most recent thing that you guys have put out is Quantum Entanglement. The big project is finally here, and it is so cool and such a beautiful piece. So, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it really feels like so much went into this album. We've been working on it for like 2 years. Like people have come and gone in the band, and like it's really crazy that we have this album now, and I'm really proud of it. It kind of feels like as a songwriter, it's like every song you put out, you spent your whole life
Mm-hmm.
writing, in some way or another. And I think all of the stories on this album are so personal to me, and they really mean they're all very meaningful songs, at least in my life story. And I organize them in a way where, to me, it's all about kind of like the whole album tells a story from front to back, and I kind of intentionally did that, and it's all kind of about just like self-discovery and like finding a balance within yourself of like masculine and feminine energy within you, and figuring out how to balance that, and like learning learn from and growing and learning from different people and different emotions. And yeah, it's been such a journey, and it's definitely probably the thing I'm the most proud of in my life.
As you should be. It is absolutely. And how has the response been? Are you happy with how people are reacting to it?
Yeah, the response has been better than I imagined it could be. Yeah, it's been really great. And it was really fun when we released it. We had like a little release show with just like our close friends and stuff, and it was amazing. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a lot of people aren't really releasing albums anymore, and I don't know, it's just like singles and then it turns into an EP, which I think is awesome too. But I really miss just like albums coming out and being able to listen to them front to back, and it's always been a dream to be able to put one out myself, and I know for the whole band it's been a dream for them too. So it's really it's yeah, it's the response has been great, and it's just been really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like there's something to be said for, you know, getting to sit down and listen to, 45 minutes of a whole body of work, as opposed to, singles that you may have heard already that are kind of grouped into an EP. But like you said, there's a place for an EP like that, as there is, a place for an album like that. But it is, two different experiences, and each one is very cool. So was that all recorded at home? Did you go to a studio for this?
Yeah, we recorded it all right here, and some of it was in our old house before we moved, but actually we recorded all of it in our old house. We just moved recently, but it was with all the gear that's here. But
Gotcha.
But we recorded it in our old house, and yeah, we each just kind of recorded our own parts. I learned how to like produce music making this album, which is something I never thought I could do. And I also learned how to play guitar while we were making this album, which is also something I never thought I could do.
There you go. And I've seen you put it to use and put it to practice. So very good. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Is there a song that you are surprised at the reception that it's gotten, or one that you've kind of noticed that a lot of people are like, this is my favorite?
Yeah, I think I was always like, I don't like Ceiling Fan. That's my least favorite song on the album. And everyone that's reached out to me has said that it's their favorite song on the album.
Interesting.
So I think that, I mean, I like it. It's not like I don't like, it's not like I hate that song, because obviously
right.
Released it. But it's not my favorite. And I think it's because it's the only song that's happy on the album. And I don't know, it's just not as like emotionally taxing to sing that song, and I kind of like feeling a little bit sad, which is weird, but maybe that's something I need to bring up in therapy.
I kind of get what you're saying. Like, you don't feel like that, when you're performing it, that like release, I guess you're like,
yeah.
I definitely see where you're coming from there. So Quantum Entanglement, awesome body of work. Everyone should go listen to it. It's out on all platforms. You guys gonna tour with it? What is next for CHLSY?
Yeah, so we have a couple shows that we're gonna announce here soon. We're gonna hit Texas, and then we're gonna hit the Midwest. So maybe we'll be back in Urbana. That'd be pretty cool.
It would be.
But we'll hit Chicago and Iowa City, and we'll be announcing those dates soon.
Awesome. So everyone stay tuned for those. It would be nice to actually get to see you guys perform for real. My friend and I went to the show, and we got there when they hit capacity. So we didn't even get to see anyone perform. So estimated the size of a house, like
it was crazy, because like we kept our gear in the basement, and like after I played, like I was downstairs just trying to like catch my breath, and I think Kangaroo Court started playing, and the ceiling was like bouncing up and down, and I was like,
goodness,
I might die today. It was really crazy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I remember like seeing like on their like house show rules or whatever, they were like, yeah, the neighbors tolerate this, but they don't like it. And I was like, the house is like vibrating. I'm like,
literally, it's crazy.
But that's awesome. I'm glad that you had a good experience. Awesome. Thank you so much, CHLSY, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so nice talking with you. And